This video is sponsored by NF. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Today, I'm not going to pretend like we're doing a deep dive on NF's origin story. There's multiple videos for that already. This breakdown is all about money, brand loyalty, and why NF's approach to his career might just be his smartest financial move. As someone who has followed NF's work closely for many years and considers him a personal favorite, this analysis comes not from speculation, but from genuine research and long-standing appreciation for his artistry. Ready? Let's go. Let's start with his net worth. Credible estimates place him at around $6 to $8 million in 2025. Yes, only 8 when compared to megastars, but that number carries enormous weight when you really break it down because it's built on a sustainable and independent style growth. NF's financial engine is obvious when you know where to look, and we're going to start with his streaming revenue. Now, NF's streaming catalog is enormous. Let You Down has over 1.65 billion Spotify streams, and other songs like The Search, Lie, and If You Want Love each have hundreds of millions of streams. As at the time I'm making this video, NF has 40 songs with over 100 million streams in Spotify. Yes, 40. Now, I'm not going to compare him directly to any other particular artist, but it's extremely rare to find someone without mainstream attention having 40 songs with over 100 million streams each. For context, NF has only 100 lead songs on Spotify, and if 40 of those songs do insane numbers like this, that should tell you all you need to know about how his music affects his listeners. NF isn't the type of artist you listen to for the first time and it becomes a forgettable experience. His lead artist streams total in the tens of billions across multiple platforms, and this consistent catalog consumption creates a baseline of passive revenue month after month. On Spotify alone, he has about 12 billion streams, and since Spotify pays $0.003 to about $0.005 per stream, that means he's earned roughly $36 million to $50 million from Spotify alone. And of course, he's going to split it with his label depending on the contract he has with them. Streaming is predictable income, and NF benefits a lot from this because fans don't just stream his singles, they stream everything. Before the release of his latest EP, NF's least streamed song had 27 million streams, and it wasn't even a song to begin with. How many mainstream artists can boast of that? Why this matters financially is that catalogs that rack up billions of streams convert into steady payout checks even after label cuts. Unlike a viral one-off, this is recurring revenue. That revenue funds tours, merch production, and gives leverage in future negotiations. Now let's go to touring. In 2023, after cultivating a cult-like fan base for many years and doing smaller venue capacity tours, this man finally decided to do an arena tour in support of the Hope album he had just released. That tour sold big, reporting around 250,000 plus tickets sold in North America alone, making it one of the best-selling hip-hop tours of 2023. Touring is the primary high-margin revenue source for many artists due to ticket sales, VIP packages, and on-site merch. Why this matters financially is if an arena sells 10,000 tickets and only 10% of attendees buy $50 to $100 in merch, that's roughly about 6-figure nights just from the merch table alone. Now next is his label and distribution setup. But before we proceed, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs, but virtually nobody watches my videos. It'll mean the world to me if you could help me reach my goal. I appreciate you. Back to topic. For all of his most recent albums, NF releases under his imprint NF Real Music with distribution and support from larger partners like Capitol, Caroline, or Virgin, depending on release, and all our distribution channels under UMG. That kind of setup can yield better artist margins and more control over release strategies. Why this matters financially, owning the imprint increases the percentage of revenue that flows back to him compared with being fully signed into a major label royalty deal. Now let's talk about his release strategy. NF doesn't saturate the market. He spaces releases typically every 2 years, and he also times tours to extract maximum value. The Search and Hope were major album cycles with subsequent long tours. For example, Clouds was a mixtape that kept momentum without overexposing him. The recently released Fear EP was also a shorter project he released to re-engage fans and keep them satisfied for the moment before the album he plans to release later. Being scarce with the music and releasing in limited windows make fans act fast, as delaying gratification converts to more meaningful purchases later. Why this matters financially is that scarcity drives merch and physical sales because fewer releases prevent listener fatigue and keep each cycle lucrative. Next, let's talk about his dating life. Oops, never mind. Let's talk about his public persona. He practices what looks like restraint by design. He keeps social media minimal, rarely seeks controversy, and often tweets and deletes, a habit fans track through fan-run deleted tweet feeds. This withdrawing actually creates mystique, prevents brand blunders, and preserves his perceived authenticity. This fool dropped an EP without doing a single interview. I mean, come on. He's not flashing jewelry, not bragging about cars, and the public image is perceived as modest and introspective. How does this matter financially? Well, less public drama equals less brand liabilities. Brands, sponsors, and venues often prefer artists without habitual controversy. Low profile reduces PR risk and the possibility of deals imploding because of a silly tweet or fight. But if you listen to NF though, you can tell he really isn't faking it and that this is who he truly is, which brings us to authenticity. Let's talk about it. Authenticity drives lifetime value of fans and increases financial conversion rates. NF's content mixes faith and honesty, and that emotional core builds trust. Fans don't feel manipulated, but rather they feel represented. That trust turns into purchases. NF's fans are not casual streamers. They're emotionally invested. That means multiple streams per listener, early ticket purchase rates, and repeat merch buyers. Loyalty also decreases marketing spend per conversion. Word of mouth and repeat consumption are cheaper than broad campaign user acquisition. Streaming analytics show NF replay value and consistent daily streams, which are indicators of a really loyal fan base. So, in a way, you can say NF is like the John Wick franchise. Word of mouth made both of them popular. Now, if you compare NF's model to a mainstream artist who chases features or viral hits, you'd find out that NF's model is less volume, but higher lifetime value. He may not gross Drake or Travis Scott level headline money, but he's likely more cost efficient, lower promotion, but higher per fan spend and more control over releases. Why this matters financially is that sustainable independence can out-earn flashy visibility if the core audience is dedicated and monetizes consistently. Loyal fans are predictable revenue. They show up for tours, buy deluxe bundles, and keep streaming old albums. Now, the bottom line is this. If more artists ran their careers like NF, prioritizing substance, authenticity, and loyal fandom, the game would be different. Money wouldn't necessarily have to come from shallow collabs or viral radio singles. It could come from meaningful art that resonates, then gets monetized by the people who actually feel it. That's what NF is doing. That's the kind of blueprint that lasts. And that, my friends, is why NF's brand loyalty is his biggest money move. Not by accident, but by design. Not by hype, but by heart. And finally, not by compromise, but by, well, I ran out of ideas, so I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and by the way, 2 things I noticed. First, in my last video, I stressed about how important picking a partner is for your future and your brand. And every real NF fan knows how much support his wife Bridget has on his career. She helps him a lot, not just with wifey duties, but also as a business partner. She helps him with merch, online engagement, and many behind-the-scenes work we probably don't know about. Secondly, in 2019, NF dropped The Search, an album that beat out Chance the Rapper's debut album, The Big Day, to become his second consecutive #1 album. Now, if you take a look at Chance the Rapper's album page on Wikipedia, you'll notice that someone is trying to change history by saying it was an Ed Sheeran project that blocked his album from going #1. They may be trying to save face here since NF is less popular than Chance and Ed Sheeran, on the other hand, is a megastar. So maybe someone can re-edit it back and bring back the truth? I don't know.